Oh boy, are we going live? Is the live stream functioning? Can you see me? Can you see me? Hello there. I just shaved. You know what I did? I just fucking shaved because I literally okay, so my face, I really hate it. I really hate it when I get hair on my face. It's actually the worst thing because a lot of the time, what happens is that it's just a little bit of hair, you know? It's just like a little bit around here, you know, and I always get rid of it immediately because whenever I shave, more hair ends up growing back afterwards, and I never like that. I never like the fact that because I shaved one time, it ends up coming back with more hair afterwards in like a month. It's the worst thing. I hate I hate how quickly facial hair grows back. So I always end up needing to buy more razors and stuff to get rid of it because like it genuinely bothers me. That's the thing. Is that when I see it, it bothers me. And I feel like to most people that wouldn't make a lot of sense, but like just seeing like these scraggly remnants of hair just on your face that are kind of growing all wrong and don't look like they should be there, it it just kind of feels weird to look at. The same thing happens whenever I have short hair. People ask me, Star, why do you have such long hair? And really, my hair isn't as long as it used to be. I get it trimmed every now and again. But people ask me that question. And the only answer I can give to it is why would I not have long hair? Like, I feel like I just feel better when I have longer hair. Like it just makes sense to me. I might be able to find Exotic in the chat says, "Hoy, am I cool?" You're in my chat, so I would say you're probably pretty cool if you're watching this live stream. Um, but yeah, like, yay, yeah, hell yeah. Um, but like, I've always had really long hair. Like even when I was a little kid, I'm gonna see if I can try and pull out a picture, an old picture of young Star. It's on Google Drive. Oh boy, the glare from the Linux Mint page as I turn it on. But I'm gonna try and look through my Google Drive and see if I can find a little bitty Star. So I can show you what I looked like because I had really long hair even when I was a little kid. And most people they don't relate to that. They don't have that experience of like it being a core part of your identity from such a young age. Usually people grow out their hair when they get older. But it was something that like I had just experienced, from the beginning. And I remember the first time I got my hair cut like short. I mean like actually short. I cried. I actually cried when I looked at it. Um, is anyone gonna talk? What do you mean? Do you mean other people? No, this is just a live stream of me talking. Um, I want to see if I can find an old picture. My Google Drive. My what? What do you mean what? What do you mean is anyone gonna talk? Do you mean like separate people on the stream? There's no other people here. Oh, you mean the chat. You mean the chat. Okay. No, I see what you mean. Um, yeah, usually the chat's not very active. There's a lot of like lurkers in the chat. Tween Toon says, hi, how are you? But like, yeah, normally I get like a lot of lurkers on the streams. Usually there's like one or two people who comment consistently, or if the stream gets really big, there's like 10 people. And then like six of them end up actually like writing stuff out on the stream. Um, see, I'm trying to find this fucking picture. The thing with me is that I've had so many old pictures that I took when I was little that I had saved on these blue discs, right? They were these little blue CD discs that by this point have a huge amount of scratches on them. I've had to archive most of the pictures digitally, but a lot of them I just don't have. Ooh, I want to show you this. This is. Let me see if I can change the goddamn camera perspective. Uh, see, here's what happens, right? So these are old pictures of my room at the time. There's my sister and stuff. See, there's me when I was really, really young. But these were there's another picture of my sister. But yeah, like look at this. He's in a bag. He's in a bag right there. Um, the one thing I hate about Google Drive is that when you're trying to load images and stuff, you end up getting stuff like this where it takes a really long time to load. But there's so many fucking pictures in here. Let me try and find a particularly good one. This image right here, the classic CRT monitor. Where did it go? Where did it go? See, this is what I'm saying, is that as it loads more pictures, it ends up moving the thing upward. But this is the old computer I had. Is that at that time I had the Windows XP computer in my room, and I always had the cat sitting up on the desk that I had at the time. But the monitor that I had was this really, really archaic monitor that, like, was made in like the mid early 90s. It was a really bad Philips monitor, but I used it anyway. It was quite small. And then over here, you can see the calendar that I had. Is that one of the things that I've always done? I still do this just digitally now. Is that I've always had a calendar that I'm always marking off the days. See, this calendar was from 2013. So that was when this picture was taken. 2013, I would have been 11 years old. So yeah, so I like, even back when I was 11 years old, I was always marking days off the calendar so I could get through the year faster, because I wanted to grow up. I'm also awkward, so if you feel like you're awkward, you're not the only one. Same, but I'm trying to be better. Yeah, I think all of us have been awkward at one point. I mean, I still am awkward. I just pretend not to be on YouTube. I think the fact that I'm making the fact that I'm just making random live streams of, like, of stuff from my past, just like on a whim, that's not something a particularly normal person does, at least. I think all of us can relate. I'm trying to find a picture. Ooh, look at this. Okay, this was my dog. This was my dog at the time. This picture was probably taken around 2013 as well. But she was a really good dog. Here's another picture of the cat. He's instead of looking away from the thing, he's looking right here. Very, very good boy. This is another picture of the dog. I have a lot of pictures of, like, my sister's toys and stuff. Oh man, these are the old game consoles. I just took pictures of this stuff for some reason. Is that you got the GameCube, N64, PS1, Sega Genesis. Hell yeah! This was the massive controllers. This was the massive controllers that I had. There's a sleeping cat, and here's a dog. Hello, look at this. Look at him. Look at him. He's such a good boy. This is the dog that I have right now. All of the other pets that are in these pictures are gone now, but this is my dog. Yeah, the brown cat that I was showing, his name was Princey. He was the second cat that I ever got. I remember I was about 2 at the time when we got him. He was a kitten, and the reason we got him was because our cat Princess, she was this really beautiful white cat. She ended up dying because this speaker fell on top of her, and it was a really tragic experience for me to see that at a young age. So what we did was we went and got another cat, which was Princey. This guy right over here. He's a good fat boy, and like And when I got the cat at 2 years old, he hid behind the oven. I still remember this. He hid behind the oven, and he was so scared at the time that all of us were calling his name, saying "Princey meow" and this all this type of stuff. But I remember I had said it to him, and I really wanted him to get out from under the oven, because we had to cook stuff later on. And I remember when I called out his name, he went to me. He actually went where I was, and I ever since that moment I felt like he was my cat. You know, it's like something out of a storybook or something. You know, like the moment that me as the owner calls his name after, hours or so of trying to get him out of there, he finally comes out. And I had him for, many years. That cat ended up being about 15, 14 years old when he died. The thing was is that I couldn't take care of him anymore because I had been moving so many houses, and you can't really take a lot of pets with you when you're moving around all the time. So we couldn't keep him, so we gave him to my cousin, and my cousin didn't really take the best care of him. Oh, he's yawning. What a good boy. And so my cousin couldn't really take care of him, so he just kind of left him outside. And what we suspect is that he got some kind of feline leukemia and just kind of, or maybe he just died of natural causes because he was very old, 14, 15 years old. He was really, really old. And so it was tragic to lose him because he was the pet that I had for the absolute longest out of all of them. He felt kind of like the one that I was the most connected to when really bad stuff would happen, just at home or wherever. The cat would always sleep with me, or he would always be sitting on my desk. And because he would sit on my desk with me while I was writing or browsing the internet, I would be able to, have a friend, a companion there, while I was doing things. And that was always really special to me. And when I would try to go to sleep, I would be laying down, and he would end up sitting on the bed, and I would just be laying there. And the fact that he wanted to lay on the bed with me to go to sleep was always really special to me. And now I always cuddle up with this dog right here, but that cat was he was my best friend for the longest time. I feel like living in the past again thanks to you. I don't know if that's a negative or positive thing. um, I I hope the nostalgia is positive. I have a cat as well, and her name is Zynga. Cats are nice. I at least I don't have cat plus birds. Yeah, no, I can only imagine. I can only imagine what it's like having both cats and birds. That's got to be a nightmare trying to separate them. Who remembers data computers? I mean, aren't all computers data computers by default? Because all computers hold data. So I don't. Is there like a specific variant? But yeah, no, and I had several other cats. The big orange cat that I was the other cat, the orange cat that I was showing in those pictures. His name was Fluffy. Now I got him significantly after. I think I was like 6 or 7 years old when we got him. And I got him from my cousin at the time. And that cat, he was probably the cat or just the pet that I had for the second longest amount of time. And he ended up going to live with that same cousin. And I think we're not really sure if he's still there or not, because we don't really talk to him anymore just because of distance. But I'd like to go see if he's still there. See, look at this. He's yawning. He's such a good boy. It's the thing is that Bertram right here, he never bites. He's always just good. I've had dogs before they bite and stuff. You have to tame them over time. He's just always been nice. He was the pet that because I remember at the time, Sugar, this dog right here, this one, I remember, ooh, he's licking my face. He's licking my face. Oh no. I don't know if he's a good boy. Oh no. But yeah, no, that dog over there. See, now he's licking my hand. Okay. That dog over there, she had him. That was his mom. And so when she had the litter of three dogs, unfortunately, two of them have passed away either due to getting lost or getting a disease. Bear, his brother Bear, ended up dying from, I forget what it's called at this point, but it was some kind of like, it was some kind of disease that dogs get infected with. Oh, geez, I can't remember what it was called, but and then his brother ended up running away. Now that dog, Sugar, she had another litter of puppies, to which our other dog, Nanook, belongs to. She's the second generation of the dogs that she had, and the other two ended up getting lost as well because there were three, or there were a litter of four puppies, so there were three other dogs. Two of them ended up getting lost or killed, and the other one was given to a neighbor. So I know he's safe now. No, it wasn't tick disease. It was some kind of like the thing where he kept throwing up and stuff. I don't remember what it was called, uh, but yeah, the one of the dogs she had was called, what was his name now? Jazz. We called him Jazz. He was this really big looking Pomeranian Collie mix from that specific litter of puppies. And we ended up giving him to a really kind old lady who was the neighbor at the time. And he's in a good place now. But unfortunately, the other two didn't make it. Earlier this year, Widget, one of the members of that specific litter, he got ran over when we had been moving houses and stuff, and so it still makes me kind of sad when I think about it. But I have Bert here, and he's always going to be my best friend. And like it's weird when I say that my dog is my best friend in the world, but he really is. Like it just being able to sit down and pet him and know that I love this dog and know that he loves me, it it feels really nice. There's been so many times, there's been so many times where I needed a friend, or I needed someone to sit down with and know that I could find comfort in them, and this dog has always been there. He's my best friend because of that. But I love him very much. I loved all of the pets that we've had very much. And it makes me a little bit sad looking back at these old pictures because it reminds me of what's gone. But at the same time, I remember the good times that I had with those pets. But Bertram's my best friend. And look at this boy. He's so good. He's such a good boy. This is one thing he does, is that he's one of those types of dogs because he's a Pomeranian mix. He's a Pomeranian Jack Russell Terrier mix. But he moves his ears up and down. Can you imagine that? Imagine moving your ears up and down as a dog. It's amazing. I remember when he was a baby. I want to try and find pictures of when he was a baby. He was so small that his ears looked bigger than his head. His ears were ginormous when he was a baby. It was absolutely adorable. I want a cat. Yeah, cats are good. You should get a cat. Give me dog now. I want it. Yeah, no, he's a good boy. Let me see if I can find more images. This boy. It says rotate device. Oh no. I want to see if I can try and find more I want to find a specific picture of Little Star, of Star with the very long hair. And there's so many pictures here. Ooh, I remember this dog. Okay, this dog was very special to me. His name was Mr. Tumbles. Now I didn't name him. It was named by, I believe, my sister. But he was from the same litter as Bertram, and he was a really, really small guy. He was a very tiny dog. That's Fluffy right there. This boy, look at this. He needs hugs every day. But no, I remember he was like this super, super small dog, and he was a good boy. I'm gonna try. I'm trying to find that specific image because I didn't mean to go down a rabbit hole of old pets. I remember that disease. I also don't know what it's called, but a lot of dogs died from it. Yeah. I I wish I could remember the name, but dog cute. I want to give hug to dog. Yeah, I'm giving him the hug as we speak. A good boy. Um See, I can kind of hear in the background. The other dog is actually running around. See, the thing is that the other dog tends to be in the other room. So she's usually in the living room and stuff. And because she's not fixed, this dog tries to you know, procreate and whatnot. And so we tend to have to keep them separated because of that. And she's just absolutely wild most of the time. Like always running around and such. Um, see, ooh, is this from when they were little babies? Let me see here. Let me see if I can actually load this video. What the hell? Look at it. He's a good boy. Let me see if I can load this video, because if I can, it's going to be a lifesaver. He looks mad. Look at him. He looks like a frustrated boy. Let me see here. Look at this. Look at these. These were the babies. These were the baby dogs. So, okay, let me point them out. This one, no, she's angry. She's not angry, or he's not angry, rather, is that he tends to make that expression just whenever. That's an expression that he pretty commonly makes. It usually isn't any sign of anything bad. But this one, this big, huge guy right here who was drinking all of the milk at the time, this is Jazz. And then this one right here, this was, what was his name? Oh my God, my memory is so bad at this point. I can't even remember his name. He was a good boy. And then this one over here was Nanook. But there was yeah, this was where they popped out. They're kissing each other. They were such good puppies. He's gonna try to hit her. He's gonna try to hit her with his paw. See, that's he's putting, look at this. He's putting literally his entire face in her mouth. Like, this type of thing is absolutely wonderful. They're trying to teeth and suck on, you know, each other's faces. That's one of the things I love about puppies, is that, you know, you get puppies that like literally will just like teeth on each other, and it's adorable. Oh, this was the mom. This was the mom dog at the time. This was her. She had just been pregnant, you know, dogs just coming out and everything. Yeah, she was a good girl. Oh boy. Bertram went over there to go to sleep. So, ooh, it would seem the stream got randomly interrupted. For some reason, the YouTube app just does that. But, yeah, this was her sitting on a tabletop with the cat, and so she was sitting there playing around with the cat, just standing there. Like, it's the weirdest thing. I don't know why. To be honest, like, I don't know why we just let her outside without a leash on, because I would never do something like that now, because I've lost so many dogs that way. But for some reason, she just never ran off that much. And when she did run off, we could usually catch her. The thing is that there were so many trees, there were so many trees separating everybody, that if she got, you know, really far away, then that would be a big problem. And it certainly was at certain times. Let me see here. I don't want to dox all of these images, because some of these are like family members and stuff. So I'm trying to find a good part to share. Ooh, this cat. I always loved this cat. This cat was called Tiger. Now, when she died, she was like 20 years old or something. She was like insanely old, but she was a very eccentric cat who grew up on my grandpa's farm. So she never really was inside of the house. Now, one of the things my grandpa and my grandma did was that they never really let the cats in the house. They just had them just kind of outside, and she was one of those cats. You know, she slept in a barn and stuff. And if my brother at the time wanted to spend, you know, delicate time with her when he was younger, he would sleep in the barn with the cat. And so she was very much a wild cat, but we ended up rescuing her after my grandpa had moved out of the house and sold it, you know, after my grandma died. And so this cat was kind of like a refugee of his move out of the house, basically. And so um, that was the way that we got her, was because we went up to the fields and we searched through the fields and we searched until eventually one of our cousins helped us get the cat, and we hopped in his truck, and or we hopped in the back of the truck. Actually, I still remember this. We were in the back of the truck, basically trespassing on this property, holding this cat in our arms, you know, riding in the back of this truck. And it was so nice because you could feel the wind going on you as the truck drove, you know, no seat belts, no seats, no anything. You're just in there with, you know, remnants of hay and stuff. And so it was a really fun experience at the time, taking this cat out of there. Let me see if I can find another one. This was me playing with her nose. Yeah, this was something that I did that was really dumb when I was younger, is that I would play with the cat's nose. Never do that. It's a sensitive part of their body. Wow, I'm surprised I don't have more images. I thought I had a picture of me when I was younger that like showed you what I looked like, but I guess there's just not that much stuff on here. I thought there was more on the Google Drive. Apparently not. Because I know on the two CDs, God forbid, please let me find them one of these days. But I know on the two CDs there's basically like a full archive of all of the old pictures that I took. I really hope I can find it, because ooh, this is the art set that I had. So I used to be a really big fan of drawing, as I loved drawing. You can kind of see the picture there, is that was a Pokemon character. It was, what was his name? It was the Brock? Yeah, no, that was Brock. So I was drawing Brock. I must have been like 10, 11 years old at the time. I had this art set where I was drawing Brock. I don't draw anymore just because I don't like doing it very much anymore, but I used to really love drawing. Ooh, this was me taking apart my old Game Boy Color. Is that I really loved taking apart video game systems at the time. Like from a very, very age, I loved tinkering with electronics and trying to take them apart. And this was me taking the half off. And I think what I did was I took out some kind of cartridge thing and replaced it with something else. I don't really remember what I did, but there was a purpose for it. But yeah, like there's just random stuff like that on here. That, well, look at how fat this cat was. He's huge, huge boy. But no, there's random stuff like that on here that when I look at it, and it, you know, when I look at it, it makes me feel kind of nostalgic. Where's the dog? He's laying on my bed trying to sleep at this point. That's why I'm talking a bit quieter, is because he's trying to go to sleep. Maybe it's in this one. Maybe it's in this folder, the important folder. Let me check here. Yeah, he's asleep. I have so many like recorded Skype calls and stuff on here that are just like randomly here. Like, look at all these. These are from 2017. Look at all these Skype calls from 2017 that are just on here. Oh, that was the goals PDF. Oh, okay. Like I have random stuff like this. And then little short stories that I wrote that I just haven't released on here. But I have all of these like recorded conversations that I had back in 2017 that just exist here. I don't know what I should do with them. That's the thing, is that like they just kind of exist. They're just kind of here. If you guys have anything to ask in the chat, I'd be more than down to answer. Mostly just because I'm kind of running out of things to say. Now, when I started this stream, I was really, really bored because I've been sitting here through most of the day with like I feel like basically nothing to do. Like, I've played all of the games that I have quite a lot, and I don't really want to play a game right now anyway. And I've watched all of these videos. Like I can watch videos. I feel fine with watching videos, but I don't want to because I do that every day. And I haven't like had an idea for a vlog to record, but usually my go-to when I'm bored is what I do is I will just talk into the camera aimlessly. If I don't have a topic, I'll make a topic. I'll pretend like there's a topic. And usually that culminates in me doing a live stream. Um, because I like the ultimate cure for boredom for me has always just been making more content. Is that the more content that I make, the less bored that I am when I'm just spending all this time in my room and not you know not having a huge variation of things to do. So I end up just streaming or making vlogs all the time. Usually in the span of time where you see me release like 5, 6, 7 vlogs in a day, usually the reason I'm doing that is just because I'm incredibly bored. Um, but yeah, no, like, it's weird. It's weird that this is the way that I deal with it. When I get so bored, I just always end up making more videos. Um, Look at this. This is good Kaoru Dojins. This was back when I was discovering my sexuality. I really liked these Evangelion Dojins of Shinji and Kaoru, and so I literally made a Google Doc that just had a list of all of the best Shinji and Kaoru Dojins. Um, oh boy, this is a very old image. This is me. I posted this image. Warning, don't listen to this video. It's trash. Haha. Time to die by watching this video. And then my best friend at the time said, "Is this man insane?" This is such an old picture. This is like 2 years old. This is more than 2 years old. What the hell? How does this happen? Hiding in my room. I was gonna write a video about hiding in my room. I forgot about that. I completely forgot that I was gonna write a hiding in my room video. What the hell? Then there's just random like ideas for a film. It feels better to do the right thing. Like just such random things that are in here. All of these just random like half-written scripts and stuff, and just like stuff that I wanted to save. Like Zabujard's Neat podcast, I have that archived on here, so in case it like gets deleted off YouTube, I want to have it. There's like this narcotic MP3 Otacast like there's all these weird podcasts and stuff that like either just weren't released or I just had on here. Look at this. This was a review. I might actually read this out to you right now. Oh, Shonen Ronin is in the chat. Hi, Calliope. I wrote. I was trying to write. Oh wait, no. Let me see here. I was trying to write this Manaria's cuckolding report review at the time. If I could actually just open the fucking doc. Okay, but what about the Pong and Prince of Tennis? That one you can find on my anime list. Let me just show it to you. If you go to myanimelist.net and you go to Star-kun, that's star_kun on my anime list, you can go to the blog post section. And I release I used to. I used to release quite a few just like random blog posts on here. And fairly certain, yeah, here it is. Pong the Prince of Tennis and endowing this horror show with meaning. Yeah, that was the post. So if you want to read it, you can go to my anime list profile. I was making a lot of posts in February on here. Let me see. I think I made like a post every single day or something like that. Then there's just this, look at this. There's just this random solo podcast that was posted in January. It's just on my anime list. No one knows about this. It's just here. Like I've never posted it to YouTube. It's just on Mal. And like, you get just random blog posts like this because I love writing. Like I write all the time. Writing is one of my favorite things to do. So I'll just post like, little short stories in my Google Docs or like stuff on my blog, I have so many blogs. You don't realize this, is that I have so many different blogs that people don't even know about that I just use to write for fun. And then I have all these like random Google Docs here. This one, this was notes that I was trying to write because I was trying to review Minaria's Cuckolding Report, the visual novel. Telescreen says, "How do you feel about Ava? I saw that one video you made about it and was wondering if you could elaborate on it." All of my opinions about Ava are jokes. I don't have an opinion on the show because I've never like properly watched it. Like I watched it when I was really young and I don't remember shit from the show. I've watched a bunch of analysis videos on Ava, but I tried watching one episode. I tried watching one episode when I was living in Maine, and I was literally too depressed to watch it. And so I just got so fed up and angry with the show because I just felt so sad. So I wasn't really in the right mind state to watch it. I think the show is probably fine. It's probably like a solid like 7, 8 out of 10. I haven't actually watched the show properly. I never went into Minaria's Cuckolding Report with the intention of enjoying something pornographic. Not only do I detest fetishes, I also have zero interest in or get aroused by women. It is it is a case study that what it is these people derive from something so degenerate and gross. Incidentally, that's exactly where our story is about. Oh my God, this sounds so pretentious. This sounds so bad. Oh my God. This was okay. This was written in January the 1st of 2018. So this was more than 1 year ago. I'm literally like, I just write this entire diatribe about how porn and fetishes are bad. And it's like, what? What was I talking about? This is just strange. Like, I still do the same thing now, but I'm nowhere near as, like, pretentious about it. Um, the dinner scene is one that expresses this poignantly. We slowly watch his mind ascend to and be consumed by the concept of his wife being called by another man. This tension is exemplified by the presence of his daughter, and I thought her involvement definitely added to the creativity of this scene. Look over gameplay footage to make a more coherent point in the scripting phase. So yeah, these were just literally notes that I had. Am I really going to read all of this? Basically, this was the first visual novel that I ever read. Aha Nor Vlog says, "Yo, what's up? Yeah, what's up, man? How are you doing?" I don't think I've ever seen you in the chat before. Oh my God, I wrote a hit piece. Okay, I wrote a hit piece on this guy, Ray the Offbeat Otaku. No one is gonna understand this. But it's called Ray the Offbeat Otaku and Virtue Signaling. Oh boy. Okay. The head pat is synonymous with providing comfort to an individual lacking it. It doesn't require any risk to give, and doing so is socially acceptable, even expected of us. Offering a sense of love and support is not only enjoyed, it's stipulated. If you go even remotely against the grain of what's expected to you, which in this case is kowtowing to a hug box, then you are seen as someone who is morally in the wrong. The problem with this, however, does not come in the fact that it's merely expecting others to do something. It is in the meaning that expectation takes away from the act itself. If everyone is doing something out of obligation rather than out of genuine emotional distress, the mimetic phrases like quote-unquote head pat used to signal that distress become nothing but buzzwords. The act of patting another's head is an intimate one. Most of us are so prudish that even imagining ourselves touching one of our peers makes our skin crawl. So to levy your hand upon a place as vulnerable as one's head without hurting them is an extremely genuine expression of love, trust, and intimacy. When you continually shove a phrase like this down our throats as you go to as your go-to, it is no longer an act of intimacy, but empty virtue signaling. This is why Ray the Offbeat Otaku should be banned from the Crow Masticators podcast trademark. Thanks for reading. Yeah, this was I wrote this August the 30th of 2018. So almost a year ago. Pretty good stuff. Again, like these are just the random things that I write on my computer. don't you spend too much time in the dark? Take care of your sight. No, people tell me that all the time, and I never understand it. People always tell me, Star, why don't you take care of your eyesight? I've never once experienced the bad effects of like your eyesight getting messed up because you're staying in the dark. I've had my eyes hurt before, but it barely ever happens anymore. Like, I think I've just gotten so used to it at this point that it just never happens. Like, I never feel pain from being in the dark so much. And I've been spending all my time in the dark for like, years now. So it's one of those things where, uh, it's one of those things where, like if if you're used to doing it and you like your eyes are a certain way, it's fine. I think for the majority of people, like their eyes aren't adjusted to staying in the dark so much, so they end up they end up getting eye pain and stuff from being in the dark. That doesn't happen to me very much. Like I spend literally all of my time in the dark all the time, and it never bothers me. Um, Rebecca W says, apparently I'm subscribing to you and I don't remember why. Yeah, no, I've never seen you around. I don't recognize you. I'm 20 and I feel like my eyesight is already a bit weaker than when I was 14, and I've been using blue light filters. Yeah, no, like, I've been staying in dark rooms since a very young age because I've always been like a fairly misanthropic guy. Like I've always bruh, friend stole book bag. Who stole your book bag? Get it back from them. Punch them in the face. But that don't actually do that. That was a joke. Politely ask them to give it back and then report them to the authorities if it doesn't work. But I must have subscribed a long time ago, but I don't know why. But it's a best friend. Then have a polite conversation with your best friend about getting your book bag back. But no, I've been staying in the dark like forever, for like a very, very long time. And I think I experienced the worst of it when I was 14. When I was 14 and 13, that was when I, that was when I really experienced like the pain of being isolated all the time in the dark. And even then it wasn't that bad, but like nowadays, as a 17-year-old, it's been what, like 3 years since I felt that way. So it's pretty difficult for me to feel that way nowadays. Now, when I go outside in the sunlight, oh boy, I have my window covered because of that. I have my window covered because I really don't like looking at the sunlight. It hurts my eyes. I don't like going out because of that. But in general, I feel like my eyes have just adjusted to being this way. And there's not much of a problem with that. The Cockpit Episode 3 analysis. I don't even remember writing that. The Fallout New Vegas. Oh my god. Oh, you got it back? Awesome. Yeah, that's what I said. If you just politely ask, you'll be fine. I forgot I wrote this script. So this was an analysis. This was an analysis of Fallout New Vegas that I wrote some time ago, and I ended up scrapping because I thought it was bad. I like to see the sun. I feel a totally different way. I do not like seeing the sun at all. Yeah, I like night walking because of that. Like, I feel like the idea is to night walk because it just looks so much nicer. I like the idea of 24-hour stores and stuff, 24-hour transportation. Like, even when I was like a little bitty kid, I always just preferred being awake at the nighttime. And night walking has been a hobby of mine for the last like 10 years, so I don't see it changing anytime soon. The World of Fallout New Vegas. I'm not going to read this, but I wrote this like entire thing just analyzing all this stuff about the game, and it was a pretty bad script, so I never released it. But like I said, I just have these random scripts on here. Why do I have all these Rebel Taxi videos that I just saved? Let's see, value in imperfect games. Which one is this? I don't think I've value in imperfect games. What was... Ooh, I remember I when I wrote this. What was the struggles of an outlaw? I never made this video either. This was a video attempting to explain what the Struggles of an Outlaw series was. And this is a 6-page long analysis, by the way. This is 6 pages. Six pages of me trying to explain what that series was meant to be. When did I make that? I made this in May the 17th of 2018. Never released it because it was a bad script, but this was one of those like random things that I just wrote and then didn't finish. Waiheke is the best board, draft 1. Now, I wrote this May the 20th of 2018. If you don't know what Hiki is an 8chan board centered around hikikomori, basically. And it's a really comfy place. It got deleted recently, and then it came back because the owner of it had like a mental breakdown or something, but it's back now. And it's a really good board. It's not so active anymore. I remember when the board first came out, it was super active. I think that was like 2017 when the board came out. Jesus Christ, it's been so long. But I wrote this analysis video in May of the board. And I think this was like 2 pages. This is literally 2 pages of me just literally analyzing an 8chan board. Never released it as a video. Never made it a video just because I thought it was bad, which it is pretty bad. Oh, this is this YTP that got off of YouTube that I just have on here for some reason. Vlog topics. Ooh, this is old vlog topics I had. Oh, geez, these are like really long explanations that I have for these vlogs. Vlog topics, document or terrible ramblings that were meant to have less or few lines. Okay, so this was from October of 2017, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Subjectivism's effect on my past thought process. Before working through my thoughts with a more scientific comb, the scientific method experiencing life self-awareness. Okay, I already do not like this. I already do not like this. Some long fingernails. Yeah, that's mostly just because I don't leave the house and I forget to cut them. I don't actually like having long fingernails that much. It's just that I forget to cut them. And so because I never remember to cut them, I just end up what's it called? They just end up languishing like this and being long. And let's see now, what is this? I wrote this ginormous explanation about subjectivity. What the hell? What even is this? Like, I'm reading through this, I'm skimming through this, and it doesn't make any sense to me. See. 2, for example, reading a book like the Communist Manifesto. I can read that book, like, digest its oh my god. This is beginning Star Marxism, right? This is when Star became a Marxist, I think. So I became a Marxist many months before this. This is near the beginning of 2017, right? I don't remember. It says, I didn't understand this about Digi's content. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is dumb. This entire post is dumb. I was a fucking stupid kid at the time. I want to learn to write like you. I swear I have an entire book in my head, but I can't put it to paper. It feels very wrong, and I read a lot. I mean, what I would say to do is to just write oh, geez, that's my ID right there. I gotta obscure that from you. I don't want you to see that. But I think what I would say to do is to just write all the time. If you just write constantly, you're going to be able to get better at it. Like, you see all of these discarded posts in my Google Docs, and like, the reason they're discarded is because they weren't good enough to release, you know, because I didn't feel like they were good enough to be videos. And like, why do I have all of these Rebel Taxi videos? I don't even know what these are doing here. But apparently I recorded a video about Tony Hawk audio. Apparently I recorded a video about Tony Hawk at some point. I don't even remember doing that. But like, you look at a video like These Four Walls, like, oh, this was written this was written March the 30th of this year. So this is one of my favorite things that I've written. And it's really this entire post is very, very important to me. Because it was just like a stream of consciousness of me just getting all of the words out. But the thing is that in order to make a video like this that I'm proud of, I had to spend fucking years making terrible videos that I'm definitely not proud of. So the only way to be able to make something that you like, and the only way to express the idea that you, oh, hello there, Stalin. The only way to express the idea that you've always wanted to express is that you have to practice as much as humanly possible. If you just continue practicing, practicing, practicing again and again and again, and if you continue reading more books, you're gonna be able to make something that you're proud of. But you have to actually do it. Now, let me give you another example. I'm going to give you an example of my blog. Now, this blog was started in 2016, so we're getting into very like early outlaw stuff 3 years ago. Oof, we're getting into the thick of the cringe essentially. But if I can open up the WordPress, I'll show you what I'm talking about when I talk about just how bad those posts are. If you read a lot, start writing down your thoughts about what you read. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, if you just write analyses on certain thoughts that you have or like concepts that you see in books, that's going to help you a huge amount. What's the best place to post blogs of various random subjects? I would say Blogspot is quite good, mostly just because of the layout. If you want a website that has a really good layout, I would say use Blogspot. A lot of people like using Tumblr because of the tagging feature. It makes it easier to have posts seen. Back when I first started blogging, I used Tumblr because of that, and more people could find the posts. But I think Tumblr is cancerous, so like it's like Reddit with me, is that I refuse to use Reddit because it's just cancerous. Like, on principle, it is my principled stance to not use Reddit. But like, it's pretty much the same thing with Tumblr with me, even though I used to use it back when I was first starting out to like get more views and stuff. But let me go to this post. This post is from August 24th, 2016. So I would have been 14 years old when I wrote this. And so it starts out, Saturday morning cartoons were an essential part of my childhood. This is how I received the love of cartoons and anime I have now. I can fondly remember my brother and my mother and brother waking me up to watch Sonic X, Kirby Right Back at You, One Piece, Johnny Test, TMNT, Teen Titans, Viva Pinata, and so many others. See, now immediately I'm listing off way too many shows. Don't do that. Don't waste people's time by listing off a bunch of stuff. Anyway, I distinctly remember my brother waking me up each morning with such excitement and being brought into a lush world of amazing animation. It was a religious experience. Like, immediately here, you have all of these extraneous descriptive words that are just kind of describing the same concepts that the other words are describing, so there isn't really much of a need to have them there. And it doesn't get you into the story that I'm weaving here. I'm not really weaving much of a story at all. This was because I was 14 at the time, but I had the idea, and so I wrote the idea down. Over time, Fox stopped airing cartoons, and the WB blocks got worse. There was a point in 2008 where I stopped watching Saturday cartoons until Kirby started rerunning. So I basically just keep going like this. And I think I talk about Beat 'em on Crossfire. Oh my god, was my blog post about Beat 'em on Crossfire on Tumblr deleted? What the hell? So now it's just a dead link. Okay. Yeah, so you have to write posts like that are really shitty. Oh boy, this is getting into some big brain stuff. This is literally in the same day I wrote, can the concept of a medium intrigue us to the point where we enjoy subpar art? Oh my god, this is when you're 14 and you want to sound smart, this is what you do. I don't even want to read this. This is so bad. This is so bad. You have to write stuff like that. And I was writing stuff like this, like improvement in time. I knew I was going to get better over time. You just have to keep practicing. Even 3 years ago, I was saying you have to keep practicing. Me reviewing fucking Metallica albums. There's just random stuff on here. I'm a drawer, and now I'm trying to be a writer. Yeah, no, if you just practice at anything, you're going to get better at it. Oh, the Real Life anime review. Writing anime reviews helps a lot, by the way. This one's really bad. Real Life was probably one of the most fulfilling and grabbing experiences I've had in terms of a show I've been watching. Oh my God. Immediately that first sentence is messed up. Oh, I keep using all of these filler words. Just, really, very, also, I think, I feel. Yeah, no, never use those words. I completely agree. Um, and like I use these words only in my writing now when I feel like it serves a purpose. You know, once you kind of learn some of the basic rules of writing, you can start to break them and then use them in interesting ways. But you should not say I feel when the person reading the article knows that you are the one writing it. And so when you say I feel, that is literally just extraneous words that are there for no reason. They already know you feel that way because you're the one writing it. And so I had all of these, pretty glaring flaws in how I wrote. It had gripped me from the beginning to the end. Like, this sentence could be removed entirely. There's no reason to tell the audience it gripped you from the beginning to the end. That's just saying that. The fact that I'm saying it's good and that I finished it is proof of that concept. There's no reason to say that. It was one of the few shows that I was actually able to marathon. Again, this is like, unless I'm gonna weave this into like a story of I'm a hardened anime fan and I never watch shows in a marathon and I'm gonna make that a story. Like, I could do that and the post could still be interesting, but I'm not doing that. That's not the point of the video. I'm just randomly saying, oh, I'm able to marathon it. Okay. Like, I'll admit I've had much experience in high school shows and melodrama. So coming in, I haven't had much experience in. See, again, this is just extraneous information. I don't need to tell you that I haven't had much experience. I just need to tell you what I think. And so, yeah, this entire post's really bad, but you have to write really bad stuff. That's just the way that it works. Halloween 2016. I think this one actually might be interesting to go back to. I've always had interesting, fun, and somewhat low-budget experiences with Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays. It's a night celebrating horror and monsters. If you know me, I love things like that. Anything spooky, gory, grindy, or just plain satanic. It gives me an excuse to binge horror movies or listen to horror punk. Yeah, I was very into horror punk at this time. Along with decorating with scary imagery and stuff. Okay, what is the point? See, I was listening to the Misfits. I think I just talked about how I didn't do anything on Halloween. That was the point of that. The Chronicles of Riddick, Dark Fury review. Like, there's just random stuff on here. Let me see. What is the chat saying? They can be used if you know what you're doing, but otherwise none of those words add anything in terms of meaning or grammar. I agree. Keep a diary if you're serious about writing. I can't stress how much it helps as a writer. No, I completely agree. I don't use my diary very much anymore, but I used to write stuff in it, and it was fun. I did a review of the 4th episode of Devil Hunter Yoko. My love of smooth jazz. Actually, I remember this post being like one of the first like kind of okay posts that I wrote. This Thunderbolt Fantasy review is terrible. This one, most people, when immersed within the personality of a genre, can tell you everything about it, and endlessly, or at least the passionate fans I listen to. When I was getting into retro gaming, I'd read facts, reviews, and Wikipedia articles on every artifice of gaming I could find, along with some gameplay videos. I felt as if I knew everything, and my passion was never waning. Every time I popped open that computer, I need to look at more games. I was obsessed. With smooth jazz, my passion is more subtle and hard to quantify. I clearly have an undying love for the genre, but if you asked me about the technical capabilities of, or even the names of the fucking musicians, I couldn't tell you squat. I don't spend copious amounts of cash on albums or hours on databases. Rather, I listen to every smooth jazz compilation alive on YouTube and the like. If I type in jazz comp or smooth jazz comp, I'm immediately given the best consensus masterpieces of the medium, along with some more obscure, almost stock jazz. Everything is there. YouTube culture and appropriation of what's considered good by the consensus chips away at the required effort by the listener. There's no every game ever FAQ compilation, and therefore I don't take the lazy way out. I always knew I liked jazz, and if it wasn't so easy to look it up online, I probably would have researched it as I do finding new black metal. Thanks to sites like Metal Archives, instead of sticking to more well-known black metal bands like Mayhem, I found very obscure Sayor, who's a favorite of mine. The point I'm getting at here is that the lack of effort I put in thanks to the accessibility could be hindering my taste. Why get up from my chair to go over there when I have everything I think I want? This mentality is dangerous as it breeds complacency. A site like Metal Archives allows me to get out of my comfort zone and find new things. Jazz comps on YouTube are usually very similar upon each record, and I don't typically venture away from what I know. I don't consider myself a jazz otaku in the traditional sense. I'm enamored by the relaxing aesthetic of the music rather than the culture itself. I know very well I could leave what I know and experiment, but I'm not in for it, for the love of the music as I would for metal. I want the platonic ideal of relaxation out of jazz. When I listen to jazz music, usually I'm down in a dimly lit room. See, that goes back to me always being in dark rooms for the last fucking 10 years. Let's plays or contemplating in a bathrobe. A pleasant state of mind, very chill. There's no immersion here within the arts because that's not the value I need or receive. The only immersion I need is the persona of being chill in the present environment, and jazz helps convey that. There are subgenres I want to get to in a more serious way, but for now, this is what jazz is to me. It's a special kind of music you put on to convey the chill atmosphere I love so much. It's not music I want any time of day. It's a spiritual ritual for that chill downtime to reflect, subtle and pleasant. If I was to get into hours of research, I'd be missing what makes the genre so great for me. I don't care about who plays these songs or what albums matter. I want that pleasant spirit when I need it. So there's a lot. There's a few problems here. Some of them easy to define, and you can see them immediately, and then other ones, they're a bit more subtle. But this, I feel like this was the beginning of me starting to write quote unquote good things. This post itself is not good, but the direction it was going into was. And so like this is in February 19th of 2017. So I'd already been writing for more or less a year at this point. Take a few months off of that, but yeah, basically a year. And I was still really bad, but I was starting to see improvements. I was starting to talk about topics that were more specific to me. I was starting to convey them without rambling so much. And that was because I continually practiced until I could do that. And so, I can't stress it enough, the importance of just constant practice, trying to find what you want to talk about, trying to find your vision, your the ideal that you have as a writer, because once you do that, you're going to, make videos like my 3 a.m. video, for instance, where that's an insanely personal point that I'm trying to get to. And the only reason I could do that was because I spent all this fucking time practicing writing stuff that was bad and that I knew was bad and didn't necessarily reflect my personal style the way that I wanted to. But I knew I was going to make those things eventually. It was just a matter of how long am I going to take to practice until that point. And if you don't give up, you're going to get to that point to where you make the posts or the writing that you want to make. If you keep the dictionary as your best friend, this is random bits of writing advice that I would put on here, is like me talking about why I love dictionaries, airing out the night's productive laundry. I don't remember this. What is this? I'm sitting here trying to bang out 5 posts to procrastinate from editing while watching old YouTube analysis videos, while switching from topic to topic in my head, while also wanting to make music for some reason. I ebb and flow between what I'm currently passionate about, but lately I've been trying to lean into the situation more towards what content is important to advancing my career. Everything I make is to improve and distract myself, but what people are going to watch and comment on is a totally different ballgame. Because of this realization, I began taking the measures to better control what I work on, which has helped in the long run. Um, so I'm just talking about all of the blog posts that I wrote and stuff. This is very, let me see here. Sitting here now with Tumblr opened and my mind going so fast between the ideas, I might as well be speeding as a drunkard. I'm not at all sure what the hell I'm doing. I have so many ideas, but as soon as I start one, I need to begin the other. This creates a bunch of new projects with none of them being finished. Thus, no product, and no product means no growth. This is very clearly an issue, though, right now at 3:12 a.m. I like how I gave the exact time that I was writing this. Just an hour before my current sleep schedule would have me pass out. I'm not entirely sure what to do about it. Push on and finish each piece with dedication. Perseverance is the easiest, simplest, and most effective way of overcoming this problem. I feel like a madman trapped in a cycle of both insomnia and bipolar productivity, an extreme willingness to get shit done while also feeling like utter dog shit from that whole sleep thing. It's a yes or no question with a yes or no answer. I have no idea why I made this post beyond to air out my own thought process, but screw it, it'll get released anyway. So, that was made in March of 2017. I had no friends at this time. I didn't have friends for like a really long time. Literally, all I did for most of that year was just constantly write, record vlogs, and watch YouTube. I didn't have friends. So, um, uh, you have to put in the time, basically. You have to write stupid stuff like that. Screw it. And anyway, in the same sentence, tisk tisk. Yeah, no, my 14-year-old self should be ashamed. I agree. Uh, I'm trying to find. I want to find that post where I talk about how I'll always be creating stuff. Always create. Let me see. Is it up? Is it up on this? Oh, it's the first post on the blog, is it? No, this isn't the first post. But I found this post to be interesting. It's October 6, 2016. I remember distinctly reading the poem Put Something In by Shel Silverstein at a young age. That poem always struck a chord with me because at the time I was only just realizing my obsession with making things. You see, I loved drawing and coming up with silly scenarios at an incomparable age. So much so that instead of doing my schoolwork, I often imagined my favorite cartoon characters in different situations, mainly SpongeBob, or draw some random violent thing. I always had this sense of fulfillment. Every time I make a new video, write a blog post, or draw a picture, or come up with an idea and this is an unbelievable high that's slept over me. It's incredibly addicting, and no matter how bad the project is, as long as I get it out, I feel great. The feeling of fulfillment never gets old, and I always attempt to be better with each piece of art I create in some way. I'm fascinated with the process and the end result. I think my purpose for being alive is simply to create, to put something in that hasn't been there before, as Shel Silverstein said. We all contribute something to the world in our lives, whether it be more life or just to help out our fellow humans. Yeah, this is a very dumb, a Sartre tier fucking humanist stance that I had here. Rip, rip, early teenage outlaw. Let me see here. Let me see. Whether it be, oh, okay, I already said that, or maybe something a bit atrocious by most. We're all putting something in. I'm no different than you in that aspect. It's my purpose to add more to the world as it is yours. I'm just doing it in an artisan's way. Some people work in factories to help make toys or, oh my God, people who work in factories help out the world. Oh God, this is so bad. Others love farming to feed the world. Oh, stop. This is not okay. Okay, let's keep going.
What I'm doing as an artist is filling a niche that needs to be filled. You may ask, Logan, your art isn't much different from most others, right? That sounds pretty self-righteous of you. Well, you would be right. See, what did I say? First of all, there's nothing wrong with having pride in your work, and self-righteousness is okay to a point. All right. All right, boy, I see how it is. The reason why I fill a niche that isn't being filled is because it's me doing it? What? I, like, if the work you're creating isn't unique, it's not going to just suddenly become unique because you're making it. That's just silly. No one is exactly the same as me, nor would I want them to be. Well, no one is exactly the same as anyone. That's a moot point. My art is both to entertain and make myself happy, but also to hopefully help others. Um, I want my work to help people through a rough time or to give them entertainment when they really needed it. Just by being myself and putting things in the world I'm filling a niche, and that's something no one can take away from me. I honestly don't know what I'd do if it wasn't making crap. My life would more likely be hell. I have my fair share of problems here and there, but it's knowing my purpose that keeps me going. I live for this, and I always have. If it weren't for my art, I'd honestly have no reason to live. I can't stop putting something new in 24/7, nor would I want to. Let me see. It's just for me to enjoy myself and help others. I want to leave a legacy behind within my work. Even if it never becomes very good, my kids could point out one day and say, "My dad did that." Oh God, having kids, this is fucking cringeworthy. If I don't have kids to leave the world behind, there will still be my work either way. My art is a big part of my legacy. Oh God, that's part of why I try to publish everything. I want my life to be documented so when I'm gone, the remnants or speckles of who I was will exist after I'm gone, almost as if I never went anywhere. That, at the very least, something to remember me by, if you will. My art isn't just a hobby or a fun thing to see on the internet. It's my passion, and it's the reason I'm here. So, the general idea of this is correct, is that I think art is the worth living for, but I also say a bunch of humanist tier memes, uh, and so yeah, it's pretty bad because of that. Star, literally old Star, like Star in 2016 and like early 2017 was basically like a humanist postmodernist. Like that's basically what I was, and then I found out about Camus and I became an absurdist. But let's see, what's worse, liberalism or natalism? Ooh, I would have to say liberalism. I would have to say liberalism is worse than natalism because at least if your belief is that having kids is, if you believe that having kids is like morally okay, then you can still build a better society in spite of that. But with liberalism, you're just not building any good society. You're just making a society that's inherently broken. So I would say, yeah, no, I would say liberalism is definitely worse than natalism. Even though I am an anti-natalist, I'm not like a hardcore anti-natalist. Uh, play Roblox. No, I'm not gonna play Roblox. Hail communism. I agree. Monkey Zulu retracted a message. I believe he said he was gonna go somewhere. Um, I was doing a bit, not actually asking a question. Oh, okay, okay. No, I mean, it was a good question, even though it was a bit. Um, but yeah. So basically, if you want to write better, I think you should just do it as much as possible. Like that's the only way. That's the only way you're gonna do it is that if you just write as much as you possibly can. You want to go to my old DeviantArt? You can go to my old DeviantArt page. The script, it's not that bad, I think. What the last one I read, I think it's pretty bad. I think you're gonna hate anything that you did 3 years ago, though. Let's see, ranking recent videos, the Kins Rage. Okay, this was my DeviantArt. In what year was this? This was 2017. So I had been a DeviantArt member for 9 months in 2017. So basically, since 2016, I had this account. Let's look at some of the art. Some of my favorites in art. You got Steven Universe stuff. I don't know what this show is. You got Skull. Have this really cool psychedelic rock picture. Zelda. You know, kind of you just standard stuff a teenager would be into. And then you have these blog posts. You have these really weird blog posts that I was posting on DeviantArt that I don't really a self-described madman boy question mark who needs to make random things happy. Yeah, no, even in 2016 I understood that this is just the way that I am. Like I said, I've been saying this for years now. But yeah, like I made random blog posts on here and stuff, but there's basically nothing here. Like I didn't draw anything at this time. So, what was I listening to? Okay, so May 4th, 2017, listening to The Proto Man, reading lots of anime blogs. Now, this was back when I was into like Oogie Maniacs and Anidex and all of these different anime blogs that like that categorized information in a really interesting way. Props to Cartoon Logan for the Dreamcast shirt. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Cartoon Logan was best boy. He was the greatest man in existence. All hail the Dreamcast. It's still thinking. Look at this right now. It's still thinking right here. I'm gonna turn it off. But I paid someone to draw that I paid someone to draw that picture. That wasn't mine. But I was watching K-On! At the time. K-On! Is a great show. A very good cute girls anime if you want to watch a good show. I was playing Akuji the Heartless, which is I have the poster for right here. Akuji the Heartless, the PS1 game. It's a very good PS1 game. I was eating whatever is cheap because I was poor. Drinking Surge. If you don't know what Surge is, it was like this really good, basically a Mountain Dew clone that was made by Coca-Cola. I don't know if they still make it or not, but they had a re-release at the time for Surge, and it was a really good drink. It's one of my, it was my favorite drink at the time. Facebook Hubbub. I don't know what this is about. Ooh, and on January 2nd of 2017, I was listening to Coheed and Cambria and Trial of the Golden Witch. Okay, obvious. Reading blog posts and manga. So I was getting into manga at this time. I started reading more manga. I was still reading lots of blogs. Watching Defrag. That's a really bad comedy show with lots of like fan service and stuff. Not recommended. FLCL. I remember I watched that around this time. Great show, obviously. Gundam. Yuri on Ice. This was when Yuri on Ice was first airing. And I was watching the show as it was airing. I was a big fan of it. Angel Cop. Shitty 80s OVA. Really bad. I was playing Ken's Rage 2, which is the Fist of the North Star game. It's kind of okay. It's sort of like the Warriors series on the PS2. Warriors Onimashi or whatever it's called. It's made by the same company. It's okay. Eating whatever satisfies my hunger. Again, poor. Drinking water. All I ever drank was water at that time. I want to look at what I was playing and doing the same things. This is the one thing I like about DeviantArt, is that on DeviantArt, I was listening to the Proto Man, hell yeah. On DeviantArt, you can basically say what you're listening, reading, and watching, and all this different stuff is like as a what's it called, as an archive. So if for 1 week I wanted to make a blog post and I said, okay, this is what I'm listening to now, I can come back to it literally 2 years later now, and I can go, whoa, this is what I was doing at this time. I don't even remember that. And especially because my memory has gotten worse over the years, being able to come back to stuff like this is it's really important to me. The idea of being able to look and see it, you know. Let me see, 2018. What was going on in 2018? Oh, it's a deactivated account. Okay. But yeah, those were the days. That was OG Outlaw, original star, Outlaw Harvest, as I was called at the time. DZ Dog in the chat, he was around for that. He was around in early, like not early 2016, but like mid 2016, he was around. I've known him for a very long time, very, very long time now. Um, we did podcasts. He was the one of the first people I did podcasts with, where I had never had so much fun talking to another person before, just because like I said, generally a social outcast for a really long time, never really had friends and stuff. And so when I talked to D in that podcast and we were like making jokes about Hayao Miyazaki like nuking the world and stuff, it was just so much fun. I just had so much fun talking to him. So we started this show called the D-Pad, and the D-Pad was really like the only social interaction I got. Was for 1 week, every single week I would show up on this podcast and I would talk to the guys on there. And we did this show for like, it was like 2 years we did this show. It was for a really long time. And it was a lot of fun. That was like what I did was that like that was the way that I talked to friends at the time, is that I only ever talked to friends when I was making a podcast, which is kind of silly, but that was sort of like how I got into having friends, was just making YouTube content, because that was the only thing I really knew how to do. Like I'd spent so long being homeschooled and awkward and all these different things that like that was really like the thing that got me into talking to people, and gave me those like foundational stepping stones to be able to make friends and stuff. So I'm always thankful to DZ Dog for that, because you know, he helped me tremendously by doing those shows. Um, in other words, what you like about DeviantArt is the fact that it is MySpace. Yeah, no, like MySpace was the perfect social media website. The problem is that they killed it. I would totally use MySpace if I could just use it as like an archive. If I could just use it as a place where I can keep a journal, a public journal of everything that's going on, because I love remembering little details like that. And um, like if MySpace still existed instead of being like a music shill website, I would totally use MySpace 100%. Um, I don't like DeviantArt for the art that's on there, because a lot of it is like weird furry stuff, and that's not my deal. I'm not gonna judge anyone if they're into that type of thing. But you know, I'm there's a lot of weird stuff on DeviantArt that like is kind of, you know, I have trouble looking at it just because I'm a bit prudish about things that get really, really weird. Like there's some things on there that they aren't even like gross overtly. It's just that the art style is so bad that it becomes gross. And yeah, the website kind of, it's not for me, but I liked the blogging element of it. The blogging element is the only thing I would get back. But the website also like tracks your information and stuff, and there's adware on there. And I don't really use social media anymore. Um, the only social media thing that I use is Discord. I don't even use Discord that much. Like all of these other websites like Twitter and DeviantArt, Facebook, I left them so long ago at this point that you know, I don't even think the same way when I see them. Like when I saw Twitter for the longest time, I would go, "Oh, it's time to open up Twitter and like tweets and have people like my tweets." And it's just been so long since I've used it that like the mindset I was in to be used to that constant dopamine stream of like, I'm going to get dopamine from someone liking something that I said, and I'm just going to go on Twitter all the time. Like these types of social media websites, it's just been, I feel so far removed from them because I just never use them anymore, and it's been so long. Glad I left an impact on you. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. No, I'm glad you left an impact on me, because I'm eternally grateful to you as a friend. But yeah, like let me see, what was I gonna say? I had a point that I was gonna make. But yeah, no, I do appreciate it a lot. This is the part. This is the part where I show the dog. I don't know if you can still see the dog or not. How do I turn the flash on? Can I turn the flash on? I don't want to turn the flash on in his eye, though. This is the dog. He's a good boy. I should turn the flash off because I don't want to blind him. With social media, do you think LinkedIn is useful? Not particularly. I don't like LinkedIn very much. I've never used it, but I've seen other people around me use it, and it seems really convoluted and unnecessary. Uh, I don't think it's the thing for me personally. I'm the same way. I deleted all my social media a year ago or so, and ironically, I found myself less disconnected because of it. No, that's the really interesting thing is that, like, on social media, you have the illusion of connection, but really it's just a bunch of disconnected, it's just a bunch of disconnected forms of text, interacting back at one another. And the algorithm sort of breeds this sense of anger and conflict between everybody. And it doesn't feel like you're connected to other people. And the main reason they do that is to sell products. And so a lot of these websites aren't the best. It's better to get interaction in more genuine sources like, voice calls or just actually meeting someone in person. LinkedIn is useful for stalking your employers and to feel superior to them. I mean, if I can do that, maybe I'll just happen to make an account. But I know like a lot of freelance translators use LinkedIn and stuff in order to like build a portfolio. You can build a portfolio in other ways. Like, when I start translating professionally, I don't need to build one by using LinkedIn. I can just use something else. I generally do not like any kind of social media. I'm a Linux user, man. I'm a Linux user. I literally use Linux because I'm disgusted by the tracking that Windows does. I'm so much of a Linux user that I refuse to use Ubuntu because it's run by Amazon. Like it's one of those things where of course I'm not going to use social media because I don't like this stuff being tracked, despite being as public of a person as I am. I'd rather be there with somebody and talk to them. Yeah, no, there's definitely a benefit to being with people in person. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't be able to do it all the time just because I'm generally pretty introverted, so I wouldn't be able to. This is the moment where I have to go eat dinner. This is how you really know that Star is underage. Is that live streams randomly end because he has to go eat dinner. Oh boy. But yeah, this was fun. This is very fun. I'll see you all later.